So I've decided to go and buy one last record, I think. But basically, one of the Clarion people has contacted our social worker and said that one of them's ill, but someone else is going to cover for them. But instead of 12 o'clock meet, we're now having a 1 o'clock meet. Also, can't get hold of my mate AD. Hopefully he's still with us on this, not too sure. But then again, he doesn't need to be up yet, and he didn't still need to be up. But I think I'm being picked up at 12:15. And also told him about the police and that little plan. He said we might not have to do that, but I said you and the other lads get outside, don't come back in, and then that way they ain't trespassing. It's just me. But like the police girl said, I've got to shut up. As much as I'm going to want to say something, I cannot do that. Because at that point I'll do that, that's then a breach of the peace, and it then becomes criminal. But that's also on their part as well. If they get like proper leery. She said, I said, what happens if somebody touches me or grabs me? She said, oh, no, they're not allowed to do that. I'll do that after I've whacked them one. But she was alright though. I said to her, what happens if I refuse to leave after an hour? They're going to call the police and go, the first thing the police are going to ask is, how did he get in? Well, we let him in. As soon as they say that, the police girl said it goes, it's a civil matter of trespass. But yeah, for that to be feasible, I've got to shut it, I've got to zip it. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I told the police girl that I would, but she was quite impressed. But I know about trespassing and stuff. And don't get me wrong, if you've exited the house and then you go back in, you're a burglar. But if you're invited in by the homeowner, you then could be trespassing if they told you to leave and you didn't. It wouldn't be a criminal matter. It would only be a criminal matter if you oh, pardon me. It would fucking hell, coughing my lungs up. Don't say I'm going to die on fucking Gillingham High Street. No, it would only be criminal if someone kicked off, then it becomes a breach of the peace. But so all them breaches of the pieces that I was going to cause today won't be happening. I'll just be like, in fact, that probably shocked. That's why they come with two policemen. They was expecting me to be there, but like I said, I left 2 hours before the action began. Sort of started, which was probably a bit of a anti-climax for them. But basically, I just thought I'd remove myself from that situation, because obviously it's going to get heated, and all the police are going to do is just arrest people that are kicking off, which would have been me. But we took control. We took control of the power, and now the power is in my hands. They can't say, if we ain't got everything out within an hour, they can't say we'll get out, because I'd instruct my pals to get out, but I'd stop in there. That way, I'm a trespasser. And the old Bill said they're not interested. At that point it drops down, if you get me. But for that to remain legal, I'd have to really just be quiet. She said, you've got to just be quiet, Philip. I can do that if it means, because the Clarion guy he's just going to grab the phone and think that he's the power man. He thinks he's going to ring the police, they're going to come out and arrest me, but they're not. It's a civil matter. But they don't know that, do you know what I mean? They have to consult lawyers and that are in another office. Well, I don't, I just consult their brain, do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Find that record shop again. I might have another look at the albums. Anyway, I'll just show you where we are. Look. You've got Gillingham High Street down there. You've got the train station up there. And it was pretty lively the other night. Like Anna came last night. But I think with them two young girls, I think that put me off my swing. Saying that I've not slept because I just want to get this today done, and then I haven't got to deal with them anymore. And I'm also gonna not try and bring home as much shit. I'll leave a bit, sort of dump a bit of stuff there. Got a pub over there, Southern Bell. You got the train station up here with some big balls outside. Oh, I see two geezers yesterday running in there, right? I don't know what the coup was, right? They had balaclavas on, mate. Looked like they'd just done an armed job. And they were laughing to each other. They come running round here and ran up there. And that's no word of a lie. I know what I saw, but were they sort of bang at that or what? Do you know what I mean? But yeah. I think it's actually illegal to run about with all that tackle on. Especially when you're looking like an armed robber. But they ran up there, man, up there, two of them, laughing. There was. Two young kids. Well, they look youngish to me, but they obviously had a hat on. He could have been, I don't know, or whatever, I guess. Seen these mad balls, right? Got like mad balls that go around here. Which is quite interesting. Just big balls. You need big balls running around here. Nah. Apparently I don't like people filming. No one stopped me filming. I'm not filming people, you know, I'm filming me. There's just a few bits in it. That pub's quite good. It's one of the live. There's the old Bill, look. He's late for his donuts. He ran over. I don't know if I've got time for the record shop or not. I think I've got 2 hours. Comes another old Bill car, look, must be something going on. Where's he going? So, where he's going, look, he's coming up here. Straight, he'll be joining his mate, I think. He's not too sure. He don't know where he's going. I don't know what's going on there. The first car didn't know where he was really going, but who knows? Maybe some them bandits from yesterday. It couldn't have been them. They were laughing about it. Which was quite funny. In fact, I've gone the wrong way again. I keep going the fucking wrong way. Oh. I think the metal shops were right up that end. This is the high street. It goes right up there. You can get onto, what is it called? I can't think of the road, but there's another load of shops up there. Yeah. Got two cash machines here. There's one up here and then one at the train station. Here we are, look, at the junction. Put that camera away. No, I don't give a fuck, mate. Really. No one's told me to stop filming. Just film them some more if they do, but it's all good. I should have filmed that fucking geezer last night with them girls. But I've never been in, well, no, I've never really been in that situation where what happened last night. Proper weird. Anyway, look, we're going right up here. And this is where the 24-hour shop is, right up there. You come along here after midnight and it's probably a shape, proper dodgy. If you're bothered by it, it would come across proper shifty, but like I said, it don't really affect me. I'll just get on my walks, you know what I mean? My brain's running at 100 mile an hour. I ain't got time to think about people that lurch in the dark, lurch in the shadows, man. I'm not lurching in the shadows, I'm just walking about. And I will continue to. But yeah, this is where the 24-hour shop is, right up here. So I quite often walking through here like 2 in the morning. The first time it was like, yeah, it looks pretty shifty. Now I'm just walking through like, well, it didn't bother me the first time, I was just more aware the first time. But I think once they clock you, there's clearly something about me that doesn't interest them. Apart from the one last night with the migrant and the 2 girls, he held some word at me, but don't know what it was. I can't even see that. Really? Anyway, we're coming out here, and the record shop is right down that bit. No, it ain't so long that bit, right down there. That's the only record shop I've found so far, is the one right down there. But there's a lot of people out. But I've really taken to the place, definitely. I think this is quite tame compared to parts of South London I used to roam around at the time. Not that anything happened to me there, but you could clearly see, when I go to London, I clearly see gangs outside the tube, because they're looking at me and I'm looking at them, thinking, yeah, I know. What they're doing, they're all sitting there, waiting for something that they look at as a soft touch, but, do you know what I mean? Someone who looks a bit vulnerable or a bit shaky. Me, I just don't give a shit, man, fuck it. Do you know what I mean? I ain't need to please them fuckers. But at the end of the day, I'm not stupid enough to hang around if there's like 5 or 6 of them, or, you know what I mean? But 1 or 2, or maybe 3 if it got really exciting. But I could soon get tooled up from anywhere around here. Do you know what I mean? Bit of wood thing, just grab it. Boom. That'd even score out a bit, but hopefully it never come down to that. So, at the end of the day. Yeah. I had one other geezer say, what you done to your head? I've got all scars right across my head where I was bottled and that. I think I've had a glass smashed over me nut and a bottle smashed over me nut. So I've got some quite nice scars up there. Yeah. It wasn't last night that was pointed out to me, it was the night before when I was at that mad music thing, or whatever it was. Anyway, we're at the end of the road. Well, I ain't sure to ride up that bit. Get back to where I come from down that bit, you can do. Yeah. And that's the length of the high street. I'm going to get in the shady bits because it's going to be ridiculously warm today. I just hope 80 turns up for his shift. But at least they'll only social worker, me and the other geezer, so even if it's two, we really need 3 cars though. That's why I've left him a message though. Plus they put back the time by an hour, so where we was all meeting at 12, it's now 1. So, and that's because one of them clarion bods has rung uphill. Probably don't want to fucking listen to me. Do you know what I mean? They've probably gone sick. So they're getting someone else in. But I told Steve all about the old bill and the trespass and how that's legal. But hopefully we ain't got to play that card. I did tell him I'm just going to be sat there silent. I'll just mute myself. I mean, if after an hour they kind of pop up, start having a pop at Steve, that's when I'll enact the, well, you boys outside and I'll stay in here. But they'll think, let's call the police, they're going to get in, and they're not, because the first thing the old Bill are going to do is say, how did he get in? Well, we let him in. As soon as they say that, we let him in, it then goes from being criminal to being civil, trespass. And the police girl confirmed it to me. She was really good. She said, just don't react, because that'll all work sweet for me, but if I react, it then becomes a breach of the peace, and then I get nicked. If I just sit there and don't say nothing, I'll have to video it. Well, no, I'll have witnesses, so I won't have to video nothing. That's just proper sunny on that side. I don't know whether to get a record or not. Shall I get another record? No, I've got enough, and enough to be doing without listening to any more. That's just too bright. Yeah, I think there's just a one record chart. What I've seen. I've seen no. What's the other shop called? I can't think now. HMV, yeah, I'm not seeing one of them. But we don't really want to see one of them, though, do you know what I mean? What that geezer's got with that shop, well, he's got me anyway. And obviously, he's got a big selection for all these different customers that are into different sorts of music, I guess. It's proper sunny again. See if I can. Where he actually sources his records and that from, I've got no idea. But to be having things like that, that's why I had to grab them. I thought, God, that's quite rare. Rare to even one shop to have 1 or 2, let alone a massive. I'll tell you what, obviously I collect the beat, don't I, as well. He's got a massive 7-inch selection, but I should really stop buying them. But what I've decided to do is just sell it. I think I'll eventually put it all on eBay. It's just a massive bidder takes all, do you know what I mean? I think that's my best route out of it. If you hang about selling everything individually, you'll be there till you're dead, do you know what I'm saying? But if I put it all in one bundle and just go, right, whoever wins it, wins it. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously people will see what's in there and think, wow, there's loads in there. We'll have a go, and then someone else will come along and pop another tenner in. Do you know what I mean? It's slowly.
Do you have any spare change?
I haven't, mate.
Well, that's fine. Sorry to bother.
No, you're alright. Yeah, let's just go up and up and up. He was after some change, but I'm onto him. There's a policeman there. Or a police car, anyway. A 308. Quite a new one. He's probably on the tackle, man, that geezer, asking for the money. Even though he weren't shaking a lot, he was looking quite healthy, but who knows? Who knows what their poison is? It's not for me to inquire. I'm getting proper hot in that sun again. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, is just sell them all in one go, and then they can all just... Because all you need is, once it starts going up, obviously it would go, well, I'd hope it'd go in the thousands. You know what I mean? Once it's in the thousands, because you can put like a minimum reserve on now, so if it don't hit the dough that you want, you haven't... But there is a minimum amount. I'll have to go through them again. To come up with a rough number. Don't get me wrong, I know I'm not going to get what I paid for them, but some of them I'll get more than what I paid for them. But not all of them, but a majority of them. And obviously, the more sought after the record, the more it's going to be worth. And like, that's why I was freaking out about that Specials Ghost Town, the cover on it. I've never seen one's like a thing so immaculate. It's got to be worth. Well, it's 40 quid it was up for, what I paid, but you'd probably whop a bit more on now and flip that straight away. But I'd rather keep it for 5 years and make more money on that as a investment. Even though at times it's hard not to dip into them, but hopefully now the situation's changed, I can just build them up again. Traffic everywhere. Tell you what, I'm going to try and stand across here. Wow. Just got to check the time. Right. Time to head back up. I think I might dive and get a cold drink or something on the way. At least I'm going to have all my stuff. And I've got these big, I bought some of these big massive sacks, black ones, but they're like reinforced. Just so I can, but I've packed quite a bit away anyway. But obviously I want to get a lot of my electronics and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is get a little van or something, or a motorbike, so I can get into Paddock Wood with me bits and bobs. Probably better with a van, but or both maybe. A van and a motorbike. Because obviously, then again, the weights I'm dealing with is just wires and shit like that, but you still need a little van. Sports Direct. Policeman again. Slow down, Mr. Policeman. Mrs. Policeman. They kill loads of people, you know, the police, when they're speeding. Every year. Innocent people. Well, some of them are clearly passing a speed test and not are not really able to do that. Oh, there's another one right there. Another policeman. Was that the one we just passed? That could be the one we just passed, I think. Yeah. Well, I'm going to go and get a sausage roll. It's a ridiculous waiting time in here. Wow. Yeah, final session tonight then, I think. As soon as we're back, I'll start wiring all that up. I'm going to clean each room first, so before I do that.
Do you want them together or separately? Oh, you put them together. Yeah.
No, I said lost the boat. No, what? I said lost the boat. Not at the boat.
Hello mate, can I get a sausage roll and a steak bake, please?
Yeah,
Oh.
beef and sausage roll and a steak bake, yeah? And that.
Indeed.
Yes, that would be $5.60. Yeah, do you want them together or separately?
Yeah, whack it all in, it's all good.
Sorry?
I said whack it all in, it's all good.
Oh, no, you can.
Nice one, cheers. Thank you. Police car, looking really bright and shiny. team branch. I don't know where the police is. I don't know what that is down there. That's a bit of a tune. Some geezer riding around in his pushback, blasting out some music. Anyway, I think we've got about, depending on whatever the time is now, I think he's coming at 11:45 to pick me up. I've got to try and wake Adi up. He's probably currently in Stapler. Then again, he ain't got to meet us until we get to Hadlow. So he hasn't got to come so far, but then again, once we're at Hadlow, we're just going to put all the stuff in and then come to Gillingham. It's one run, sort of, and bosh, it's done. But I've got to wake him up though, somehow. He's normally pretty reliable though, so, and I said I'd pay him, so if not, we're just going to have 2 cars, but really we want to get it all in one swoop. But either way, I know they're still coming out, because as long as I keep calm and collected and don't say a word, they can't do anything. The police won't come out. All they'll do, they'll take the call from Clarion. They say, how's Philip got in? And they're going to say, well, we've let him in. As soon as that happens, the police drop out. The girl said at that point they drop out, because it isn't criminal. It's a civil matter of trespassing, because they've let me in my own home, well, my old home. But the police girl didn't think that they had a leg to stand on, and she was quite appalled at the fact that I'd lived there 54 years and they'd give me an hour to get my belongings. She said, you ain't got to worry about nothing, Phil. She said, if you get worried, just call 999. I said, no, I just want to clarify a few things. I said, are they allowed to, like, touch me, grab me? I mean, none of that allowed. In fact, if someone went to grab you, you could strike out. But then, at the same proportion that he's, or whatever. But I know everything now. I know for a fact that as long as I don't leave the house, I'm trespassing. I'm not a burglar. Claren's going to ring the 999 and say that I won't leave you out. You know what I mean? I know what they're like. But what I thought was correct is correct. But I've had to do that once before when I had to ring the old bill, and I run it by them. And again, I was correct. But I told the girl the story this time, so she was completely sort of on my side, if you get me. But that's only if I just zip it and say nothing. As soon as I pipe up, then it becomes criminal because I've spoke, and then it's breach of the peace. So if I just shut up, it's all good. And she did make me promise her not to say a word, so. And obviously it's in my favour not to say a word. But in a way, I don't know if it goes that way. But in a way I do, just to see Clarion's faces, because I'm one step ahead of them. As long as I don't interact. Well, I can interact, be polite, but I'd rather not. I'd rather not interact at all. I'd rather keep it as it is, where Steve's been talking to him. They've been dealing with him, and not me. Which is what we wanted 10 years ago. But they kept ignoring my advocates. Legal advocates as well. I've got so much on them that now I'm sort of in a better zone. After today, might run all my paperwork right by a solicitor just to see if because I think I've got a huge case of various different offences committed against me. They've had their fun and games, and I'll have my fun and games. Well, it's not fun and games really, because it's quite serious what they've done. They haven't followed the correct procedure. Lucky. Saw that voicemail. Yeah, that one. You have to do these locks the wrong way around. Oh, I've got my black sacks, I need to start packing them away. I've got a bit of time. Yeah. Let's open the window. Welcome to Black Sack City. I'll tell you why in a minute. Take a look at this. It's just black sack. I've got these matte ones now. These are the real heavy duty ones. Oh, these ones. A lot of it's packed, but you're not ripping them. They're my normal ones, but yeah, I'm taking some of these just so I can make short work of just stuffing stuff. I've said to Steve, obviously they don't know what I want and what I don't, so if they're all at the door ready, I can feed all of them stuff and they can put it in the car. And I think I can keep them all going as quick because I've got stuff ready to go. I've got like my decks and that just straight away. Records. We need to get 80 up. Well, I'm not leaving nothing there. I'll just sit in there. So in theory, I could just plot up there all night and not even move. I'm still. How mad's that? I could just go, no, well, I ain't going nowhere. I'm plotting up here for the night. And I would still only be trespassing because they've let me in. If I let myself in, or break in, then I'm a burglar. If you get invited in, and you refuse to leave, you're not a burglar, because he let you in, someone let you in. And that's the point, that's the point that the police girl said, the police will then drop Clarion out and tell them that there's no crime being committed. They'll probably ask them, has Philip been leery or violent or doing anything? No, he's been quiet. And that's all we need. Because as soon as I start piping up, it's a breach of the peace, but that could go either way. But I'm not going to be sucked in by them, I'm just going to keep dead quiet, that way I know that I'm in control of what I want. But the fact I could just sit there though, all night, at what point, I'd like to find out if the police, at what point then, I suppose I'm just, I'm permanently a trespasser until they take me to a civil court and remove me. How mad's that? Not that we're going to be doing that, we're going to be hopefully in and out. And from what Steve's told me, no one's been in there and touched my records, so that's all good. I don't know who nicked my mountain bike and the things that was outside, but I'll soon find out. I think I know anyway. But it's all good because I've lived in that village that long that I know people that move around in the dark. And you can pay them to do things in the dark. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Crazy, eh? Don't do it yourself though. When someone else who do it, We've got loads of little mad kids in our village. But he was trying to plead last night that it weren't in. And what he was trying to say, he was going to offer me some work. I just don't believe that bullshit. He's been offering me some work for about 7 years. He's just using that as a line because he knows it fits. But I've got him. I believe that my brain is just ahead of his. Yeah, why did it take him so long to answer that question? He messaged me months ago, are you coming back? Well, weeks ago, as soon as I went, are you coming back, Phil? And I thought I ain't in the mood to fucking answer you. So I didn't answer him. And suddenly, bits go missing. And he's the only one, so I messaged him. I said, why did you want to know if I'm coming back? I said, have you got anything to do with my bike and all my tools that have gone missing from out the front? Just put it right on him. And then he's seen that, not replied, and then last night he tried saying he was going to offer me some work. But that don't sit correctly. Bike's fucked anyway. Or is that blonde kid again? Who dropped the other bike last time because the neighbour nearly caught him. Tell you what, if I see anyone riding it, they'll soon have a fucking slippery fall off it. And the thing is, it's such a small village, I will find out exactly everything. Yeah. Crazy, eh? It's just too obvious. It's not a coincidence. My mate said it could be a coincidence. It's not a coincidence, man. No way. I was going to offer you some work. He's been chatting that line to me for about 5, 6 years. Coincidence that's connected to that? Bollocks. That's what I think. Anyway, it's get your records on day. I've got a big pile of new records. Oh, right down there. But before we get any of that, I'll have to wash the floor. I've got a lapping machine as well. I've got like a hoover, which is a washer as well. Where it's all just flooring, I can go over it. I've got like a bumping machine. I've got loads of shit. I've got to get me tiles. I've got some 2-ton tiles. I've got loads of stuff over there. I might try and put them outside, all the tiles. No one's going to nick them because they're too heavy. Well, I think it'd be alright if 80 turns up. That'd be 3 cars. Anyway, I've got my big old list. I'm still going to go through each room, checking. We're up to item 57. If it's something that comes to me like now and again, and I get it down on there. But literally, I've got all my towels, all my cutlery, bedding stuff. Literally, I walked out with 2 carrier bags, 3 carrier bags, because one of them was full of radios. And me drones. Yeah. And Clarion trying to give us an hour. Even the police girl was not impressed with that. But she was quite impressed with me running my idea by her that much that she told me how I could break that and how I could abide by it. All I've got to do is just zip it, button it, don't say nothing. That way I've caused no breach of the peace. Because as soon as the breach of the peace is called, it moves over to criminal. But then again, that goes on them as well. But I think I'm that sorted today, they could sit there and assault me. I'm not even going to bite. I wouldn't even bite. I'd just sit there. Speaking to that police car was really focused me in, because I know that if the worst comes to the worst, and they start getting heavy with Steve, after an hour, I can go, right, well, you lads go outside. I'm not going till I've got all my stuff. And that'll really rub Clarion up the wrong way. They'll be thinking 999. That's what they'll do. And they'll start chatting to the police, but the police will ask, how's Philip got in there? And they'll say, well, we've let him in. At that point, it goes from a criminal investigation to nothing to do with even the police. They may ask Clarion, has he been abusive, aggressive? If I haven't, then it's got nothing to do with the police. It's completely civil, because it's trespass. Which is mad really, isn't it? I should just plot up and not move. We'd stay there all night. Clarion wouldn't be impressed, would they? And they're not allowed to put their hands on me or do anything to me. But yeah, I would presume, as it's legal for me to just stay there and be a trespasser, you could probably stay there all night and be a trespasser. Yeah, because you're not going to get in court that quick. But like I said, we don't want to go down that route, do we? It's just nice having Clarion where I need to put them. But there's another step as well, which just puts Clarion right out, which would mean going to a county court, getting an injunction against Clarion, which basically just forces me through the door. But we don't need to do that because he's going to let me in. Doesn't mean and after an hour, when he says, well, we can get out now, I ain't got to leave, man. I'm going to carry on until all my belongings are sorted. And that's when Clarion had jumped the gun and think that, hang on a minute, he's not allowed to do that. Well, I am allowed to do that. I wouldn't be doing it or have it as a plan if it wasn't going to work. I know it's going to work. See, the law is a very strange thing, really, the law and how it works, and civil law and trespass and burglary, and that's how a lot of these kids that get in derelict buildings and like, old houses and that, and no one's in, that's how they get away with it. Well, a lot of the time, because they've walked in, they've got in through an open smashed window. You've trespassed. You haven't been the one that's broken in. It was already busted open, and that's how they get away with that. And in fact, I like some of their videos, man. Some of these youngsters, they climb up all sorts, get in prisons and old prisons. Right. I've got to try cool down a bit because it's really quite hot. And we've got to get a bit of charge in my phone. Anyway, I'll be back in a bit. I'm going to try and wake me up.